Thank you so much, Joe. It was lovely to see you and Fran, and we really missed being there with you and everybody else. At this moment, normally we would be having our drinks session for the three charities, and everybody would be going up to the stands and talking to all of our people. And in fact, we've got a picture that I'm going to show the people out there of one of the stands last year. And of course, our three projects are our charities of the Doorstep Library, Interact Stroke Support, and the Felix Project. And I'm delighted to welcome from Doorstep Annabelle, their chairman, Interact Stroke Support, their director Nirjay, and from the Felix Project, with a title too long even to contemplate, Izzy. It's great to have you all here. And just to remind everybody, the Doorstep Library brings books and the magic of reading directly to the homes of children, and that's fantastic. Interact Stroke Support employs actors to read to stroke patients at Charing Cross Hospital, and the Felix Project collects surplus food from suppliers and redistributes it to charities and schools in London. So because there's normally a drinks event, I'm going to have a drink to your health, all of you. I've shown the picture of your stand. I hope we can now look at a picture of lots and lots of people outside St Michael and All Angels. Last year, it was absolutely packed. It was beautiful weather, as it has been today, and we're very sorry to miss that. And finally, I want to show a picture of the money that we raised, the Cookbook Festival and us, for you three charities, and the handing over of those £5,000 cheques, which was fantastic. I mean, it was a great day. That sadly this year we can't do that. We are not selling tickets. We are relying totally on people's donations. So if people can look and see what they've enjoyed, and if you can contribute, please do. But I'm now going to ask each of you in turn, how has it been for you? So Nirjay, I mean, all charities are suffering. How have you been dealing with it?
Well, it's obviously been very, very difficult for all of us. The way that we've dealt with the situation, because obviously, like most people, our work has been suspended. But the way that we've dealt with it is to think, well, necessity is the mother of invention. What do we do? And so we've done a two-pronged attack. The first is to develop a fortnightly podcast called Right Side of the Brain, where we interview a wide variety of people, sometimes stroke survivors, people from the arts and culture. And that's an attempt to widen our reach and raise our profile. The second is to develop readings directly into people's homes using technology such as Zoom and Skype. And we've started to explore that. We've done both individual home readings and readings to stroke groups via this technology. And we want to expand that even further. And the thing about those two things is that hopefully those are two strands of work that we might be able to continue once everything goes back to what we would normally define as normal.
Thank you. I mean, it is a heartbreaking situation for everybody. I think we're all learning how at least to make Zoom work and do all of those things. Are you getting income from anywhere?
We are getting some incomes. Obviously, the amount of income that we have been receiving, because most of our incomes comes from trusts and foundations, and we do get, obviously we get the support of the Chiswick Book Festival. There has been a very dramatic decrease in the amount of monies that have been coming in, but equally, we've not been doing that hardly any work. So it's a little bit of swings and roundabouts. I think our main concern is that we've historically built up quite a large body of reserves to use, you know, in a rainy day, and we are now in rainy days. But I think our main worry is that because we fundamentally work in hospitals, you know, I'm just concerned that, you know, they will be one of the last places, you know, that finally do open up to, you know, organizations like ourselves. And that's why it's absolutely imperative for a charity like Interact, you know, really to take the bull by the horns and think, there is technology out there, such as Zoom, such as Skype. Let's use that, you know. And you know, we're now delivering the service in areas that we've never reached before. You know, we've never historically worked in a place like Lincoln, for example, but we've had a stroke club from Lincoln saying, "Oh, could you deliver the service to us?" And you know, so we're thinking, well, actually, you know, there are some positives that have come out of this, and let's try and focus on that and move forward.
That is good news. Annabelle, if I could move to you again, I presume that you can't really be going into people's homes with your normal readers, can you?
No, absolutely. And very much like Nirja, you know, we stopped our volunteers going into people's homes just before lockdown. So the normal service of helping primary age kids with their reading in their own home just stopped. So, you know, we've, you know, adopted Zoom. We're doing group reading sessions, storytelling. Lots of our volunteers have recorded stories, you know, reading books, which we're sending out. We're doing we're doing some book swaps, which has been lovely. So we've been able to go to the doorstep or to the garden gate and sort of swap books over the summer, which has been a real lifeline, I think. And I think, yeah, again, for us, you know, we're really looking at taking advantage of this sort of opportunity that having to go digital might bring us. And I think, again, like you, I think we're looking at, you know, it completely removes geography if we can get it right, which is really exciting for us to be able to reach more children and more families. It's definitely not the only way. You know, I think, you know, we're all really hopeful that we can get back to visiting families in their homes as soon as possible. But that's not, I don't feel that that's going to be very likely, dare I say it, you know, for quite a while to come. So we've just got to adapt and keep going.
How do you normally get your income, and what has happened to that?
Very similar, really. You know, lots of trusts and foundations, lovely things like the Chiswick Book Festival, which we are so grateful for. Some corporate funding. We've been really lucky. We've had a couple of grants from the lottery, COVID specific, and we've had a couple of other big trusts and foundations who have been extraordinary in basically sort of giving out money that is totally unrestricted, doesn't need to be related to the project that they may have funded previously. So that's been a real lifeline for us, really, as we start to think about how we can adapt our service, and therefore the different kind of fundraising we might have to, you know, apply for into the future. So at the moment we're sort of okay, but we're really, you know, we're very kind of nervous about next year. I think once, you know, the agency funding sort of disappears, which I guess it will, you know, how we sort of maintain really what we have got and keep going.
Well, thank you very much indeed. And I'll move on to Izzy from the Felix Project, who got a mention in the cookbook discussion just now, because they're still supporting you. That they're now called the Cookbook Kitchen, and they're producing some recipes, which I think they're going to work for you. But Izzy, I know that in fact, in some ways, COVID has been good for the Felix Project. That actually it's brought you a lot, well, a lot of benefits. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been like such a remarkable time for us. Obviously, initially we didn't expect, there was still the same concerns as a lot of charities. You know, in the wake of COVID-19, we obviously knew London was facing an impending hunger crisis. You had, you know, 1 million people, adults, losing their jobs, applying for universal credit. You had tens of thousands of elderly isolated, and, you know, 1 million children who were eligible for school meals now at home and not receiving it. So we knew the demand for our service had increased, but we were sure we were going to get funding that we needed. We thought we were going to lose out on about 350,000. We knew volunteers were now shielding, so we didn't even know if our operation could work. And then obviously food supplies, you know, cafes were closing. You know, what, you know, we'll be able to do this. In fact, due to our agile approach, we managed to change our operating model and act as an emergency response during this crisis. Usually we have 2 depots, one in Enfield, one in Pot Royal, and a central London scheme. The central London scheme had to close temporarily, but in its place we formed the London Food Alliance with 2 other food redistribution charities, Fair Share and City Harvest. And we were delivering food to local emergency hubs all across the 33 London boroughs. We were responsible for 14 out of 33 of those boroughs, but also delivering to 20 of them. We have managed to, increase our food output by 3 to 4 times it was pre-COVID. And yeah, it's incredible, really. We've, gone from delivering 10 tons of food a day to around 40 tons. It's been really quite remarkable. Yeah. And we've managed to deliver like over 12 million meals now, and it's only September, and last year we only managed to deliver like 6.4. So it's really been quite remarkable how we've all kind of pulled together to do this. Yeah.
And how has that been funded?
So I guess our connection with the Evening Standard has been a real asset for us. We formed I don't know if you've seen it, but it's the Food for London Now appeal. And it was an appeal to raise 10 million. And from the end of June, we'd raised 7.5 million. So we've gone from a charity that raised 1.98 last year to, now we'll be like over 7.5, which is just an incredible achievement and not expected. And yeah, and hopefully we will be able to raise the 10 million. Also as well, yeah, we, previous partners, Hiscox, ING, trusts, like, Westminster Foundation was crucial in enabling us to get, large volumes of food straight from supplier to charities, which was something we've never really been able to do. And of course, our community donors like yourself, the Chiswick Book Festival, and, communities like supermarkets, that's been a great thing. Applications that I've done, had some real support there. And also I've had so much fun actually in the community side of things. Like I've had, restaurants like Flatiron getting together, raising like over 20k and doing crazy things. Like I've had a man called Fred Smith running in his flamingo suit. I've been honestly amazed by the funds that have been raised, even in the community level. So it's been, really good.
Well, that's a really positive story. I'm glad somebody's got a silver lining, and I know that finding the digital opportunities for Interact and Doorstep are helpful too. I'm afraid we can't promise you a lot of money. We can't actually promise you any money, because if we don't cover our costs, we actually will have nothing left for you. But I'm very much appealing to all of those people who've been coming and logging on to our events, and do so more in the future on YouTube. We're really very much hoping that they will be generous. We've had generous sponsors who've underwritten a lot of what we're doing, but at the moment it's a very murky picture. So I just appeal to everybody out there. You have these 3 very, very worthy causes, and St Michael and All Angels, which runs the festival. And if you could help us cover our costs and help them, that would be wonderful. So thank you, all 3 of you. It's lovely to see you. We miss you, and we'll be back together very soon, I hope. Thank you for watching. We've got another event at 7 o'clock, all about spies, but for the moment, thank you very much.